I started as an intern for a major mutual life insurance company originally. And it's where I really got exposed initially to the idea that the entire financial services industry is really grounded in this way of thinking about attracting clients that is just financial opportunity sales. We all have seen it in movies like Glengarry Glen Ross, where they're calling and they got a stock for you. They got a deal on a piece of land for you. And the trouble is that even as the financial sector has gotten more sophisticated over time, they've just continued to build on this underlying foundation of a sales-based philosophy instead of being advisors or coaches. So we lived inside that model for some period of time, but we decided about 2005 to change the practice. I've been doing this about 2 decades, and we decided to change the practice to be one of being more of an advisor and a coach with finances. We started integrating, instead of having 2 meetings with somebody hoping they would just buy a product, which is what most advisors do. We began a process that was coaching related. It took about 6 to 10 meetings, depending on the complexity of somebody's life. And then because of the drag of the amount of time it took to do that, we began doing it all by Zoom meeting. And now we work with clients via Zoom all over the country. And we're able to do so because it's only 1 hour focused learning sessions instead of clients having to drive across town, get childcare, or try to walk out of the office to go meet with an advisor who's probably working for a big box financial retailer of some kind, but they try to get out of the office. There's 5 gotta minutes from their staff when they're trying to get out. And then they finally get to the office. And after about 2 meetings where there's half an hour, 40 minutes of commute on either side and childcare, people say, I just want to do something. And the consumers end up forcing the advisor to sell them something. So we instead designed a coaching and educational based process we use that really separates us from that sales-based philosophy that so many financial firms have.
And that's very key because a lot of people associate the financial industry, if you see like the movie Wolf on Wall Street, where it's just like this high pressure sales. So people are like getting intimidated because that's like what people mention. You mentioned, Glenn, the ABCs or whatever that other movie was. And it's just like, every time I see that, I always think of those high pressure sales, stockbrokers and investment advisors. They're just trying to shove stuff down your throat. And with your way, it's more like, let's have a conversation, build over time, in the convenience of your own home or in the convenience of your own office, a little bit more relaxed setting to kind of build that relationship. And then you add in the coaching element as well, which is key as well. So I kind of like that approach, and, God bless the internet and technology that we can actually do this type of stuff now.
Absolutely. And in fact, I just started smiling uncontrollably when you mentioned Wolf of Wall Street, because we have a friend of the family who's a firefighter and super nice guy. But he saw Wolf of Wall Street, and the next time he saw me, he says, I know what you do for a living now. He's like, I didn't know that you could do X, Y, and Z, like these unfathomable acts. And he's like, where's your Lamborghini? And I was like, that is not what I do with my days. That's not what I do when I go to the office.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is a very, if you're a very sensitive person, to watch that movie. But again, it's very entertaining, and not all financial advisors are like that. But again, it's, that's how it used to be in some firms.
Absolutely. In fact, they couldn't even edit that movie enough to ever get it on late night network TV, I don't think.
That's insane. So kind of like your build, I noticed that you said you started out as an intern. Is there any like mentors or coaches in your life that kind of helped you to develop you over your career?
Yes, but it was very unconventional. So I was 18 years old when I got into the industry, and I was going to school at UNLV at the time. And everybody that would be a traditional mentor, say for what I was doing, like a finance professor or a sales manager or something like that, ended up just not working for me. And I'll give you an example. It was 1999, and I had a professor who will go unnamed, but he literally said in the class, we're doing retirement plans and building these case studies. And he says, clients can expect about an 18% year over year rate of return on their money with a good growth mutual fund. And now I was already licensed. I got my licensing as a part of this internship. So I raised my hand and I said, hey, hope this isn't too silly of a question, but if I tell people more than 12% rate of return, which because of what I understand about long-term financial returns, I'm even hesitant to say 12.
Mm-hmm.
But if I say more than 12, I lose every license I have in my career. How are you teaching in a finance class at the university level that people could expect 18? And he says, the regulators haven't caught up with the new economy.
Oh.
And I was like, I got to get out of here. And so something unique happened to me, which was I ejected myself out of the traditional college experience about 18 months in. But I had a way I was feeling that was just super feeling less than everybody else. So because I didn't have a document on the wall saying I was smart, I decided that at that point I needed to be the smartest person in the room. Not something I feel like I need to be the smartest person in the room anymore, but that was my decision when I was 20. And I studied vehemently, and I went out of my way to actually travel to get some of the best coaches in the world to work with me. Those were mainly my mentors. And as a result, I was spending about 4 years. I spent $40,000 a year of my own money getting all the best coaching that I could get so that I could bring the best value to my clients possible. And I ended up getting more mentors from being people, not people that were like my senior or my manager or something like that, but people that I paid because I needed people whose only interest was my continued success so I could continue to pay them.